Hello, if you love ocean spray
And bubbles.
get both with SodaStream.
Can I do it now?
Hold on. Look for it in the SodaStream aisle. Go ahead.
Awesome.
Fizz the holiday season with SodaStream.
Good afternoon. This is another edition of Drinking with the Stars presented by SodaStream, and we're here with the cast of The Imitation Game at the Toronto Film Festival. I'm Sharon Waxman, the editor of The Wrap. Well, one thing you choose not to show in the film, which I find curious, is there's no exploration of your sex life, Alan Turing's sex life.
Well, there
and
is.
his.
I mean, what you mean? You just don't see him having sex?
Yes, that's what I mean.
That's not an explanation, not an exploration of someone's sex life. The fact that he's chemically castrated because he admits to being a homosexual, but he talks about entreating a young man to touch his penis. I mean, it's pretty explicit. If you need to see that to understand that he's gay, then all is lost for any kind of subtle storytelling. I think to me, it's a very. It's not something that needed to be made obvious. The conversations are so naked in themselves that the idea of having to see two naked men, it wasn't something I ever thought was missing in the script. The conversation he has with Cairncross, the conversation he has with Joan, the conversation he has with the police officer in the interrogation. It's
But it is an interesting,
very explicitly discussed.
it's an interesting choice.
It's a very conscious choice. First of all, it's historically correct. Turing describes his time at Bletchley as a sexual desert. He didn't have a relationship during that time. So first of all, it's historically correct. The second of all is that him being gay is just one part of, the character we want to unveil. And we think that when we made the decision is that we didn't want it to be, just about that. There's so many signs with Alan Turing that we wanted to portray. And I think that the real story, the real love story, is his relationship to Christopher, which is Alan Turing was obsessed about artificial life, artificial intelligence. He met, the love of his life at the age of 16, and lost it, and that was such a fundamental thing that shaped his whole life. Mm-hmm. And we wanted that to be the focus of it. Mm-hmm. And then the relationship he had with John Clark was also because it's almost like they were another soulmate that he met, and and they got engaged and they were very close. And
Is she still alive?
No.
No. So there's really, the Turing family is, I don't know, does he have family? Are there?
He does have surviving relatives, yeah. He has some nieces. I met one of his nieces, who describes him as being someone that they all felt comfortable around as children, more so than any other adult in their life. He had an immediate sense of them as people rather than children. He didn't patronize them, he listened to them, he had conversation with them. He wasn't somebody who just thought should be seen and not heard, or treated any kind of Victorian distancing thing. And he was very entertaining apparently, and made them laugh a lot, and would thrill them with his brilliance by doing things like playing games of chess with his back turned to the board and instructing them where to move the pieces, and never looking once at the game and winning every time, of course. And they had very, 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 very fond memories of him.
And in some ways, the film kind of is a bookend to the Queen recognizing Alan Turing. I guess it was last year for his contribution. In December of last year. So it seems so appropriate.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only person that should be capable or should be in a position to give an apology is sadly no longer with us, because he was persecuted by the government he saved from the fascism that they were all fighting, and he's the only person that should be offering any kind of a pardon and apology for the way he was treated and the way the hundreds of thousands of men in that era were treated. It was born out of a paranoid McCarthyistic fear, like a lot of scapegoating of minorities is even now. We're seeing it in ideological terms in Syria and Iraq. We're seeing it in very blatant terms in the economical crisis in Greece with the Golden Dawn rising, the tolerance of gay men there, and same in Russia, and it's sadly something that's still prevalent. So
Africa as well.
Yeah, and I think it's very important that institutions correctly, acknowledge that this man was wronged. But my point is that the only person that really, for me, has any currency as far as offering an apology that would mean anything would be him.
Thank
not
you.
apology, sorry, forgiveness. Or,
Yes.
apologies,
Yeah.
nothing to apologise for.
Yeah.
Yeah.